Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Drawing Down the Stars. I'm Snappy, and thank you for joining me for our live tarot session on today, July 30th, 2024. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day, and I'm so happy to be here with you all. So let's start by giving a shout out to the chat. Good evening, Kit Kat. Good to see you, Gandhi. Good to see you, Nikosmas. Good evening, Christy. Good to see you, Ruby and Jeremy. Much love, Kari. All right, this is going to be a fun day today. Okay, so we'll start by talking a bit about the astrology. So we're still dealing with this moon in Gemini. Good to see you, Deborah. And the moon in Gemini energy is this talkative, intellectual, flighty kind of energy where we're going to be emotionally kind of all over the place, but we're also going to be inspired and driven and imaginative. Now is an incredible time to be flowing with your dreams, to be communicating with others, to be learning and pursuing after knowledge. And we combine that with the sun in Leo, which is that profound, confident, unique, outgoing energy, that bright energy, right, of strength and of movement. Together, it's a really powerful, beautiful energy that we can connect and flow with, right? Pursue after that knowledge. And that flows into the general topic and feeling of today's reading. When I was doing my meditation earlier today and I was thinking about what I wanted to title this episode, I drew the card of fortune, the wheel, and I was thinking about that wheel and just this idea of learning to reflect upon things and learning to adapt and move and change and learning to really cope with the pain and transformation of fortune and to recognize, the present is based upon the actions of our past, and our future is coming from our actions in the present. And it's always in this state of flux and transformation. And we have to learn to move and adapt and think on these things. And fortune can be so cruel, but it's just life, it's nature. And I wanted to read for you a couple poems that help me reflect upon this energy. And the first one is by Emily Dickinson. It's called The Goal. Each life converges to some center, expressed or still, exists in every human nature, a goal. Admitted scarcely to itself it may be, too fair for credibility's temerity to dare. Adored with caution as a brittle heaven to reach, were hopeless as the rainbow's raiment to touch, yet persevered toward, sure for the distance, how high, unto the saint's slow diligence, the sky, ungained it may be by a life's slow venture, but then eternity enables the endeavoring again. Such a profound poem. And it reminds you of this striving, of seeking after that self and what the goal is. Each of us has a reason, and this is a complex thing, and it is a changing and adapting thing. And it is something that you can connect to and learn to hear and pursue after. And it is worth the pursuit. It's worth the lesson. It's the point. All life is striving for transformation, evolution, and growth to flow and move forward, And that's the goal in the end, that pursuit of wisdom, right? Beautiful. So then the next couple poems I wanted to read to you are both called Fortune, and they're both by Madison Julius Kawine. So this is Fortune 1. It says, Fortune may pass us by, follow her flying feet. Love, all we ask deny, never admit defeat. Take heart again and try, never say die. Wow. Love it. And then the second one, Fortune 2. Within the hollowed hand of God, blood red they lie, the dice of fate, that have no time nor period, and know no early and no late. Postpone you cannot, nor advance. Success or failure that's to be, all fortune being born of chance, is bastard child to destiny. Bow down your head or hold it high, consent defy no smallest part. Of this you change, although the die was fashioned from your living heart. Wow. Fate is what you make of it. It's what you do with it. You have to rise to the occasion and face it and deal with the dice that have been given you. You know, we all have to walk that lonesome valley, right? We all have to walk it for ourselves. Oof. Life is beautiful. So now we're going to go to our sortes. And for those of you who are new, the sortes is a form of bibliomancy, that is divination through literature. And it comes to us from the Greco-Roman tradition. We invoke those spirits of the muses, the goddesses of inspiration, and we ask them to inspire us, to guide our hand, and to send us a message. Muses, what is the message this evening? All right. And we're going today to The Psychic Bible by Genesis Peorage and the Temple of Psychic Youth. A time in which what is called I mingles with our other thoughts. This is a really interesting way to phrase it. Anyone who's had deep experiences with meditation will understand this. When that distinct voice, right, that I-ness, for lack of a better term, doesn't go away, but rather becomes silent or becomes a voice among many within the body, And it's a really interesting feeling. And it is a time when real, true knowledge of the self can come in, because you can hear other things. You're not drowned out by that ego that's constantly barking. They had their time to speak, and now others get a chance. Interesting. All right. We are now going to try Bullfinch's Mythology. This is a really fun text. It includes a bunch of different myths and fables and tales from, early tales from Aesop all the way to Legends of Charlemagne. Beautiful collection. All right, muses, guide my hand. What is the message? Inspire us. He tried it with no better success, and amidst the laughter and the jeers of his companions, gave it up. Oof. This is a hard one to hear. He tried it with no better success, and amidst the laughter and jeers of his companions, gave it up. Wow. When I think of something like art, one of the deep, profound things to recognize is that every beautiful painting is born from thousands and thousands of doodles. Any great artist, anyone who can create anything, had to fail 1,000 times before. Though these shouldn't be seen as failures, but attempts. Attempts had to be made. Lessons had to be learned. Techniques had to be refined. Practice has to be done, you know? And we have to continue to practice and move forward in spite of the jeering, in spite of the gawking, you know? Because the true master continues in spite of those jeers, and all of a sudden those jeers transform into cheers. When all of a sudden those struggles become successes. And no success is born from anything but hard work. All right. Beautiful. Let's continue. We are going to go now to Euripides, 10 plays. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Euripides? So these are 3 things here that are just beautiful that I'm going to read. It says, well, I'm going to read a few things. It says, keep silent. Help us work out our escape. It is an excellent thing to have a faithful tongue. See 3 dear friends in one predicament, to win home or die. Please keep silence. Help us to work out our escape. It is an excellent thing to have a faithful tongue. See 3 dear friends in one predicament, to win home or die. All for one and one for all. 3 in 1, that's deep magic, my friends. Keeping the silence like Harpocrates. Knowing when to speak word and give voice to reason, right? Help us to work out our escape together. And to have a faithful tongue is to speak truth. There is magic in your speech, and those who speak truth will be rewarded for it. Magical. All right. Let us continue. We're going to go to Entering the Desert by Craig Williams. Muses, guide my hand. What is the inspiration and what is the message? Deep within the darkness of the desert of the soul, in the Gnostic isolation of the cell, rests an ancient self-luminous flame. Deep within the darkness of the desert of the soul, in the Gnostic isolation of the cell, rests an ancient self-luminous flame. Know thyself is what is written on the walls of Eleusis. And to find the self, you must be willing to go into the depths of the self, cross that desert, into the darkness, into the Gnostic isolation, and into the cell, right? To truly be alone with the self and to listen. Wow. That's a hard lesson and a hard thing to do, but it's something that will bring incredible rewards if you can do it. All right, we're going to go to Lorca, 3 Tragedies. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Federico Garcia Lorca? You I never could see when you were fancy free, but now that you're a wife, I'll find you, yes, and take off your dress, you pilgrim and a wife, when night is dark all round, when midnight starts to sound. You I never could see when you were fancy free, but now that you're a wife, I'll find you, yes, and take off your dress, you pilgrim and a wife, when night is dark all round, when midnight starts to sound. It is always once we make commitments that those other powers come in to try and challenge them. You know? Wow. And there is that call, right, to freedom and to wildness under the stars, to dance around and to be free. Let's continue. All right. Don Juan in Hell by Bernard Shaw. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Shaw? Inspire us. I see you recognize the feeling. Yes, a funeral was always a festivity in black, especially the funeral of a relative. At all events, family ties are rarely kept up here. Wow. I see you recognize the feeling. Yes, a funeral was always a festivity in black, especially the funeral of a relative. Wow. This is true. When we look at the most ancient of rites, funerals were a celebration of life. You know, they were held in the home. Often the loved ones were buried near the home, you know, and there was always a deep connection to that ancestor world, to blood and to family. And in many cases this has been lost in our modern times, you know. A festivity in black, right? And the recognition too that the wearing of the black is a magical thing and it's a transformation, you know. I often think about that story of Demeter. When she loses Persephone, what does she do and how does she win her back? Part of the magic in order to bring her back is she dons the black and cries out in remembrance. She lights a torch in her name, right? And refuses to give up. And it is through those cries, it is through that profound love that the universe relents and brings her back rather than listen to Demeter's cry. You know, there's power in that. It's interesting. Okay. We're now going to go to In Tune with the Infinite by Ralph Waldo Trine. But this is an interesting book because I got this book used and it was owned by an interesting gentleman named Harry F. Given. And Harry decided to annotate this book very thoroughly and left us with quite a few gems. So let's see what the message is from Harry F. Given and Ralph Waldo Trine. Muses, inspire us. Okay. Life, then the degree of the infinite spirit that is manifested in life of each must be identical in quality with that source. The same as a drop of water taken from the ocean is in nature, in characteristics, identical with that ocean's source. How could it be otherwise? Very true. And this makes me think of another really classic Sufi quote. I can't think who said it offhand. I think maybe it was Omar Khayyam, but many recognize that the drop merges into the ocean, but few recognize that the ocean also merges into the drop, you know? Wow. Interesting. And this is that profound message, you know? That which is above is the same as that which is below. All right, let's continue. Okay, we're going to go to Who's Who in Greek and Roman mythology. This should be fun. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message? Inspire us. Okay. Marica, a water nymph, an ancient Latin goddess identified with Diana, Circe, and Venus. Some say the wife of Faunus Pan and mother of Acis in Dryas was certainly the mother of Latinus. Merica. Ooh, wow. A water nymph in the Latin Diana, Circe, and Venus. Incredible, powerful magic, right? This Diana Venus, right? That's that energy of that huntress and Aphrodite. Circe is that incredible witch from the Odyssey. Wow, beautiful. And then the wife of Pan, Faunus. Gotta love it. Pray to America, everyone. Okay, we are now going to go to our proper tarot. And as always, we use the tarot of Lady Frida Harris and Aleister Crowley, the Thoth Tarot. And we invoke that energy of Saturn, and we dissect our life, cut it up and put it on the plate, and we ask, how do we overcome our current obstacles? How do we best evolve? How do we learn to move and flow? And how do we manifest our true will? And as always, the center card is the most important card. Today's center is work. Beautiful. Building energy, productive energy. Great energy for having this moon in Gemini. Okay, let's see where this is going. 3 of discs. What are we building on? Wow. Okay. So this is about a transformation and a change, right? Related to this work. So what I'm seeing here is that there was probably a loss, some kind of a break, a death, you know? And maybe there's a time right now that we're reflecting upon this as we build new. You know, death is an ending, but it's also a beginning. And it is an inevitability. It's that force that we have to face and overcome and adapt to, right? And in the face of work, we must overcome these setbacks and build anew. Let's see where this is going. Wow. Pleasure. What I'm seeing here in relation to this is that there's this building and there's this work energy towards this manifestation of community and balance and coming together, you know? And there was an ending of certain relations and connections here. But with this ending, you know, we are now coming into this energy of the pleasure. Those of you who have been watching us for a while now will remember ways back when we were receiving that 8 of Cups energy over and over and over and over again. What I'm getting here now is that 8 of Cups energy is coming finally to an end. That energy has been trimmed. We are now returning back to that balance of the 6, that pleasure, sustainable, loving, reciprocal, moving and flow energy. And now we can build again and work, right? And recognize too that this is something that must be maintained, right? That balance has to be protected and grown with. Let's see where this is going. All right. Okay, yeah. Connected to this work, we have that energy of the Chariot, profound movement, right? We have that amazing Cancer energy. This is that energy of donning the armor, pursuing your dharma, your following in flow with the universe, moving with the Tao, right? And taking responsibility. I immediately think of the story of Arjuna and Krishna, right? Krishna is that chariot driver, and he reminds Arjuna that Arjuna must take responsibility and must act, right? For he was born a king and he knows what he needs to do. And if he doesn't take responsibility, the world will be worse for it. And it may not be fair, but that is what fortune has given him. And we are all given different fates and fortune, and we must face them. And this is the call to face your fortune. What is your path? What is your responsibility, right? It's not about what's better or worse. What is yours? Know the self. Take responsibility for your life and your action and move and flow and move towards it. Do the work that is necessary to overcome. All right, let's continue. Yeah. Moving past this energy, this death that we're seeing here, and continuing to work in some way, we're seeing this as a kind of a defeat. And the reason it's a defeat is because this is emotional energy. We're not thinking strong enough, right? The 5 of Swords is not applying reason. If we apply more intellect to this, if we add more swords, we get to that balance of the 6, which is science. So we're coming up short. We're not being reasonable. We're not seeing the situation as it is. We're seeing it with emotional eyes. Maybe we've been emotionally hurt, and therefore we are seeing it in a hurtful way. But if we take a step back, we apply more reason, and then we think about this in a balanced way, we see that this movement is beautiful, and this is a success. We're going forward and we're overcoming, right? Let's continue. Yeah. Transforming. Take this defeat and transform it into new art, new collaborations, new loving connections, new flowing movements with this now balanced and flowing community, right? This is moving past that negativity, right? Building new and beautiful things. Okay, let's continue. Wow. The reason we have this work in the center and we can move forward is because we have this strong foundation, reciprocal foundational energy, core friendships, core people who sustained us. What I'm getting is we need to recognize that there were those energies that stayed through this transformation, right? That continue to sustain us through this hard work and movement. And these are powerful energies. Let's continue. Let's see where this is going. Yeah. And it's those energies that we need to connect with that are going to give us the power to embody that energy of movement, right? The Knight of Wands is the one who can enact their will. They are capable. They are responsible. They are mature. They just need to direct themselves correctly, not act in ego, right? The issue here is one of potentially of recklessness, but the power is yours. You wield the skeptron. You're moving in flow. You have this support, right? Let's see where this is going. And you're connecting to your dreams. You're drawing down that star, connecting to Venus, to Pisces, right? Bringing in that love, that connection, powerful energy. Beautiful energy. Wow. So this is all about just continuing to build and to overcome, to move past those defeats and to focus upon what we are striving for our dreams, for our wishes, to recognize that we are building and that we are continuing, that we are moving in more creative endeavors. All right. Now, before I flip my camera, please take a second and give me a like and a subscribe. It really does make a big difference. It boosts everything in the algorithm, and it really does help. And if you are at all interested in a private reading, please send me a message, snappyddts@gmail.com. Or you can even reach to me at the Myth and Lore Discord. I'm Snappy or Lady Snappy. Okay, let's take a look here at our full Saturn square. So here is the full spread. Wow. So how do we overcome this defeatist energy? How do we overcome this loss? By embracing our passionate love and moving forward in transformation, right? By manifesting our will, by pursuing that fiery love, by being mature about it, and in moving. We need to just overcome this energy, right? Let the cycles play out. And again, we're seeing the same thing here. We can take this powerful energy of the Four of Cups, this foundational, luxurious energy that can sustain us. We can use that to help us move forward in this transformation. We're working, we're building, we're manifesting. The key is to continue to move, to do the hard work. And what we can see here too, right? We're manifesting this balance, this pleasure, this communal energy of sharing, of giving and receiving. And we asked for this, we wished for this. And now we can truly create beautiful works of collaborative art, coming together of forces, right? This is about doing what you want, doing what you've been striving towards, which is that beautiful artistic creation and connecting with this divine feminine and this community in beautiful, loving harmony. Incredible. Wow. All right, let's now check our crosses. So we want to do the work. We want to create that art. We need to be this mature energy of the night, the one who pursues, who goes out forward, who wields that scepter, who manifests their will, who chases after passion and love, who's driven by inspiration and pursues it, and is in that pursuit of artistic creation and does the work, right? Beautiful. We're doing the work, we're connecting, we're drawing down the star, but we do have this defeatist energy, right? And we need to do the hard work of really reflecting. This really connects to that overall message of the reading today. The message today was to be in that wisdom and to see that wisdom, true wisdom, comes from reflecting upon the situation and seeing the situation through multiple perspectives, through reasoned eyes, through balance, right? And this is an energy that will not sustain itself if you do that. If you take the time to reflect, to see things from the true reasoned approach, this energy will transform into science, right? This defeatist energy is in your head. It's not appearing here in the cards. What is appearing here is the pleasure, is the wish fulfillment, is the artistic creation, is that loving foundation, is that power to move forward, is that maturity and ability to achieve your dreams. This defeatist energy is in the mind, right? And it is preventing movement. But it is energy that can be overcome. Recognize it as irrational. Do the work of drawing in that reasoned approach, being reflexive, taking that inner reflective moment, seeing things in multiple perspectives and transform this into that reason. And then you can move. You can be this knight. You can be that chariot. You can do the work. You can bring this pleasure in and create and manifest your dreams. Beautiful, loving energy. This is building on that loving energy we saw the other day. We're overcoming and we're moving, right? We just need to stop doubting ourselves. And part of the way we stop doubting is by reflecting and truly understanding our present, right? Truly taking things in and saying, yeah, I'm not perfect, but also I'm not to blame. And this situation is over. We're letting it go and we're moving on in transformation and in growth, right? Take the lessons from this and move forward. Beautiful. All right. I hope that resonated with you. It certainly resonated with me. Thank you very much. And we're going to do one final sortace this evening. What do we feel like doing? Let's go Euripides Bacchae. All right. Muses, what is the inspiration this evening? Inspire us. Why do you jump like this from mood to mood and rush to excesses of hate and love? Why do you jump like this from mood to mood and rush to excesses of hate and love. This is literally what I was just saying. Stop and take a moment, reflect, see all the different perspectives, see how silly the extremes truly are. The middle path is always the more balanced one. All right. Don't jump to extremes. Learn to move and flow. Peace and love, everyone. Thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.